Okay, so welcome back from the break. Today, I want to talk about an incident that happened in October 2015 at Yale University. What happened was this. Halloween is coming up. And on Halloween, people like to dress up silly, get drunk, have a good time. And a university department called the Intercultural Affairs Committee sent an email to students saying, it's Halloween, you guys want to have fun, that's fine. But please be sensitive about the feelings of other people. So for example, do not dress up like a panda because we have Chinese students and they might be offended if you dress up like a panda. Okay, so this email went out to all the students at Yale. And one teacher who works at a residential college called Silliman. Okay, so Yale, the university, is divided into dormitories called residential colleges. And she is the dean with her husband of this college called Silliman. And to her students, she writes an email and says that she didn't agree with the university email. She says that a university is a place for you to explore, experiment, and make mistakes. So, yes, be sensitive about the feelings of others, but we trust you to make mistakes and to recover from them, okay? So, the debate was essentially over safe space versus free space. The university said that safe space is important. We must respect the feelings of others. But the dean of Silliman, her name is Erica Christakis, she believes in the idea of free space. So a university is a place for debate, for questioning, for experimentation. And yes, feelings will be hurt. That's part of the growing up process, the intellectual process. So let me ask you a question. Do you guys agree with number one, who argues for safe space, or number two, Erica Christakis, who argues for free space? What do you think? Can you speak into the mic, please?
Of why?
Why do you believe number one and number two is correct?
Oh, because I think that university is a place that you could explore yourself, jump out of your comfort zone and try the things that you never had experienced before.
Okay, who disagrees? Who believes it's more important to respect the feelings of others?
Like if the college prohibit these dressing that may be offensive to other students, it's just in the campus. If you walk out into the society, it still will have the people wants to dress maybe like a panda or something. So I think it's necessary to yeah.
Okay, all right. Any other opinions? Okay, so you say respect the rules, right?
I think it depends on who decided. It feels like for myself, I think free space will be more important. I need to explore what I want. But for being as a leader, being as a head of the college, I think safe space will be more important for them because they need to take in control.
Okay, right. But the problem is this is a conflict, right? Mm-hmm. If the teachers care about safe space, you cannot have free space, right? So the question then is, what do you think in principle is more important, free space or safe space?
Safe space.
Okay. Okay, all right, okay. So so most students believe safe space is more important. And this marks a generational shift because when I was growing up, there was no debate. It was just assumed that free space is more important because if you're not allowed to make mistakes, if you're not allowed to explore, if you're not allowed to argue with other people, if your feelings don't get hurt, you will never grow as a person. Okay, so this marks a generational divide or a generational gap. Okay, so we're going to look at what happened because of this debate. So the students who read the email were offended that Erica Christakis was arguing for free space because they believe that by doing this, you're going to hurt our feelings. All right? And so let's look at what happened. And remember, this is Yale University. Okay. So what's happening is that when Nicholas Christakis, the husband of Erica Christakis, went to a meeting, he was surrounded by students. And they're confronting him, okay? There's like 100 students. And they're confronting him.
For racism.
And they're arguing,
We're sitting here telling you that you are being racist. You are being offensive. You admitted that you hurt us. Why can't you say sorry and move past it?
I'm sorry.
By saying that we didn't have the right to that's how you're hurting us.
One at a time, please. One at a time. It's very easy for any trivial world of mine to be misinterpreted. So I'm one at a time. I'm happy to speak to you as much as, well, I can't speak to you as much because I have other students that need time as well. So unfortunately, a little bit.
Okay, so look, I'm not saying which side is correct. Okay, both sides have legitimate points. Both sides have problems. But you will notice that the professor, he's much older than the students. And the students are treating him, you can see their faces, right? They're treating him with some contempt. And that's not appropriate. And when I was growing up, we didn't do this. If you didn't like a professor, you thought, well, he's an asshole. But you know what? Most professors are assholes because they're professors. Okay? You did not go and like stalk the guy and complain to him. That's kind of disrespectful. All right? So the question then is, why is this happening? So I want to show you another video. And this video is kind of crazy. Okay, this video.
You understand that? As your position as master, it is your job to create a place of comfort and home for the students that live in Silliman. You have not done that. By sending out that email, that goes against your position as master. Do you understand that? Then
No, I don't agree with that.
Then why the fuck did you accept the position?
Because
Who
I
the
have a
fuck hired you?
Okay, so this is not appropriate. Okay, again, both sides have legitimate points. But this is not appropriate, right? Because what she's saying to him is, you work for us. Your job is to make us feel at home. And his response is that my job is to help you learn. My job is to help you grow. And that means openness. That means debate. That means pain. And her response is, I don't want that crap. I want to feel good. I want to feel at home. I don't be challenged. And if you think about it, that defeats the entire point of university. So again, I'm not saying who's right. I'm not saying who's wrong, but clearly there's a problem here. And when I went to Yale a long time ago, we didn't have any of this. In fact, this sort of incident where a student would curse a professor, it was unimaginable to us. Okay? So the question then is, why is this happening? And there are three explanations for why this is happening. The first explanation is parenting. These kids grew up in very privileged households, and their parents are very protective of them. And their parents treat them like friends. And so these kids are spoiled, okay? That's the first explanation. The second explanation is the idea of a consumerist mentality. So in a university, the idea is that the students are consumers, they're customers. And the customers are always right. What the customers want, you have to give them. So if the customers want a safe space, they want to come and enjoy their time at university, and they don't really challenge, the professors have to meet their demands. Otherwise, he should not have this job. Okay? And this is a mentality that we call neoliberalism or consumerism. Okay? That's the second explanation. Okay? The third explanation is ideological. So the idea is that at universities are overrun by left-wing professors who teach students that society is racist against minorities who happen to be, black and female. And they must overturn the white racist supremacist structure. And you do that by telling white professors who are privileged that they are racist. Okay, so these are three standard explanations for why this is happening. Because this sort of stuff is happening quite a lot in America. What I want to argue to you today is that there's actually another explanation, which I think is much more compelling. And the explanation is that universities have become bureaucracies. Before, universities existed to teach you how to think, to help professors do cutting-edge research that helps a society improve or innovate. But today, universities, including Yale, Harvard, all the universities have become bureaucracies that exist in order to promote the interests of the administrators who want to sit in their office, get really nice, get a really big salary, and feel good about themselves. Okay? That's the argument I will make to you today. And what I will show you is that this is not just true for universities, it's true for every major organization in America and in the Western world, and arguably all around the world. Okay? That's the argument I will make to you today. Any questions before I begin? All right. Okay, so today's lecture is Death by Bureaucracy. How the idea of bureaucracy, the bureaucratic mindset, is taking over the world. All right, so let's talk about another incident at Yale. Okay, this is Yale Law School, and a student named Trevor Colbert, he sends an email. He has a party, he sends an email to all the students at Yale Law School. And there are actually not that many students at Yale Law School. There's maybe 300, okay? But all the students get it. And he says that he's going to organize a party, and it's a trap house party. And it's a bit of a joke, because trap house means actually a drug house, a place where drug dealers sell drugs. But black students, African American students, read the email and they're offended. And they're like, are you making fun of black students? So they write a letter of complaint to the deans of Yale Law School. And there are two deans who investigate, okay? Their names are Eldick and Cosgrove, okay? And what Trevor Colbert does is he actually records the meeting, okay? Secretly. For 20 minutes they talk. And basically, Colbert does not believe he did anything wrong. He sent an email and he said it was a funny email. He thought it was funny, okay? But the deans tell him, you think it's funny, but other students found it offensive, so you need to apologize. And Colbert's like, okay, well, I'll tell you what. If these students thought that what I wrote was offensive, then I will talk to them. We will talk together about why they found the email offensive, and we will settle this amongst ourselves. And the dean's like, no. We want to help you guys out. We want to protect you guys. We're afraid that if you guys meet, you guys will fight even more. And Trevor Colbert's like, well, I want to hear what they think. I don't want to hear this from you. I want to hear what they think, okay? And then what happens is that the deans start to threaten Trevor Colbert. They basically tell him, these things amplify over time, so you must apologize right away for your sake. Okay? And they tell him, listen, if you do not apologize, then this might affect your career. This might affect your social circle. Okay, so they're threatening him. And what they say is, we're doing this for your sake. Okay? Eric says he worries about the email affecting the student's reputation, not just here, but when you leave. You know the legal community is a small one. And he says, you know what? I will write the email for you. I will craft the apology for you. And Cosgrove warns that escalation is a possibility if the student doesn't apologize, okay? So this is coercion. And again, the student, it's not clear what the student did wrong. Some students found it offensive, but it's not clear what rules or laws or what regulations Trevor Colvard broke, okay? It's not clear. So why is this happening, okay? My argument to you is that it's happening because these guys, Cosgrove and Eldick, they need things to do. Because being a dean of a university, it's not a real job. Right? There are professors who teach, there are researchers who do research, but deans actually don't do anything. So when you have a bureaucracy, bureaucrats go make problems for everyone in order to create solutions for everyone. Okay? So another way of saying this is 20 years ago, 30 years ago, when I was a student at Yale, if you had a problem, you had to go talk to a professor because there was no one else to talk to. Nowadays, you can talk to like 20 or 30 different deans. Dean of Student Affairs, Dean of Student-Faculty Relations, who knows, okay? But there are like all these offices that you can go to. And quite honestly, it's the same at the school as well, right? If you don't like me as a teacher, there's like 4 or 5 different people you can complain to. And quite honestly, a lot of you do complain, okay? So I know about this. And what is happening is, these universities have become bureaucracies. Now the question then is, why are they bureaucracies? And the answer is, in the beginning, as a university, you have to build your reputation, right? So you work hard, you focus on teaching, you focus on research. So it's a struggle to become a global brand. Once you become that global brand, there's nothing else to do. There's no more ideology, there's no more struggle. So what happens is, the people in charge start engaging in rent-seeking behavior. They take advantage of their position in order to make their life easier. And then they pass on this privilege to their friends and then to their children. And this creates a bureaucracy. And the university starts to exist in order to empower these people at the expense of students and professors. Okay?